Alright, what is up guys? Today we're going to be doing a league race at MSR. So just some info, this is the light class, so there is a cutoff at 175 pounds, and we're going to be doing the reverse circuit today. The cost to enter is $75, and there is a limit of 40 competitors for each series. So with that $75, you get access to 3 sessions, your practice session, and then qualifying, and then after that, you do the final race. And for the final race, if you get one of the top 3 positions, you get awarded a prize, which is free sessions to go race. So first place gets 3, second place gets 2, and third place gets 1. So I didn't record the first session, which was practice. So this is actually the outlap of qualifying, and we got a pretty good kart, number 7. Alright, now I'm going to jump to what I think was my best qualifying lap and walk you through it. Alright, so the first lap we're actually getting in is the lap right after the outlap. So this is the first lap. I slowed down a bit just to give myself space to the guy ahead, because you don't want to get too bunched up and have them slow you down. So you see me just trying to hit these apexes right here, and you're going to see that I'm completely on the red and white curbs here. It's just the fastest way. You're not really losing much time from that. And you're going to see here that I get pretty close to that curb as well. And that's where you're going to be gaining or losing the most time on this lap. And in my mind, I know I didn't hit it perfect, but I thought, oh, alright, we have a couple more laps to do, so it shouldn't matter. It's not make or break. But you're going to see what comes up that actually ruins that for me. And you see me just catching up to the guy in front. I have pretty good straight line speed, pretty good cornering. And then here you can really see on this parabolica how much I really catch up. This kart's grip was insane. The straight line speed, you know, it wasn't the best, but you just see how close I get. But this is where I'm saying, if you have somebody in front of you, that completely ruins your lap. So you see I just can't go through him, so I'm just getting slowed down, when if he wasn't there I could be just gaining tenths. And this is going to be me finishing my actual best lap, because after this I get a puncture. So I'm going to cut to that puncture real quick, because this lap I was stuck behind him, so I wasn't able to improve. So you see me here finishing that lap, and here coming up, you see under braking I completely lose it, and he passes me up again. And normally if I had a good kart I could catch back up. You saw that I had good cornering, good straight line speed, but my back right tire is actually completely flat here. So you're gonna see on this straight how much time I'm really losing. So because of that, I was only able to get 1 lap in for qualifying, and thankfully I was able to make the most of it, and I was still able to qualify P3. Alright, now we are in the outlap of this race, and we have to be as bunched up together as possible just so we can get a good start. If not, they'll make us go back around. And I'm starting in P3, so that means that I have the inside line here. And we're just going to be trying to stick as close to the guy in the blue shirt as possible here, just so we don't lose any places. Realistically, we can only gain 2 places here, but we can lose a hell of a lot more. Now we are coming up on that final turn before the straight with the green flag. And you see him waving it, so we're good to go. And now you see us sticking to the plan, following that blue shirt, and yellow goes a bit wide, but because of blue shirt locking up here, he actually gets a great exit on us, and you see him trying to make the most out of that car by jumping and letting the tires spin under him, building up revs. And during that, I pass blue shirt, and you're going to just see me hound him down, so I get a pretty good exit here, and you're just going to see how much better my straight line speed is. He's just trying to make the most out of his car, but I just stay calm, and we're just going to pass him down this straight. So we instantly jump up into P1, and we know that we don't have the best kart. His is just not great. So I'm just going to be trying to maintain the biggest gap I can to everybody behind me and focus on banging out these perfect laps. And you're going to see me get as close as possible to the edge on this parabolica. Before I used to lean, but I'm not sure how much that really helps compared to the time you're losing by losing focus. And that red curb right there is going to be a huge time gainer for us, but that's only if you hit it exactly right. You want to shorten the track but not get on it so much that you lose balance and ultimately just lose time. So this is my first lap clean where nobody's in front of me, and you can just watch me, and I'm pretty much hitting these curbs perfectly. This is exactly what you want to see. This is what we saw in my qualifying lap before I caught up to the guy in front. And I'm not gonna lie, it does get kind of boring for these next couple of laps, just because I'm out in front and there's nobody to battle, but that does change eventually. So here at MSR Houston, sometimes people bring their own cars and motorcycles and bring them to the big track, which is on the right side of this main straight, and sometimes when you're karting you can see them pass you. And this time we weren't lucky enough to see that, It was early on a Sunday morning, so it was probably because of that. So while we have some free time, one of the biggest things that I see beginners do that cost them a lot of time is that when they're on a corner, they're actively looking at the corner, actively looking at their car, how the wheels are touching the curb, when they really need to be focusing on the next corner at that point already. You need to be using your peripheral vision just to hit the corner you're on, try to hit that apex, and look at the next corner ahead just so you can hit that corner better. If you have your head down the whole time just looking at the corner that you're currently on, you're never going to be able to hit the next one perfectly, because by the time that it gets there, you're not ready for it. So some other places I currently race are HKC up in Conroe and speedsportz in Ucani. And I haven't actually been to MSR in a while before this, so I was actually new to this reverse track. It's a new thing they're doing now, I guess, because usually you're going the other way down, and that's what everybody is used to, so this was kind of a curveball for me. One big turn on the reverse track is this one coming up right here. So one big thing that I've seen people mess up on is they brake in the middle of the turn instead of before. So what I was doing is giving the little tap on the brakes before and then just kind of gliding through with the kart. Because in karting, everything is just about momentum. How much momentum can you take through a turn? So if you're braking in the middle of it, you're just slowing down too much for the exit. You see there on that exit how much I really get onto that red curb. And that is a pretty hard turn to get right. If you go too far onto it, you're going to lose a lot of grip and go wide and lose exit speed, which is the most valuable thing in karting. Another big thing that I see beginners lose time on is oversteering. So what I mean by that is they turn the wheel too hard into a corner, and because of that, they can actually catch the traction. So they're going to be spending some time just like drifting through and trying to have the kart catch up to the grip. So you're going to hear a lot of people talk about a racing line. What a racing line is the ideal way to go through a track. Sometimes it's not ideal just because you have somebody ahead of you or behind you and you need to defend or attack. But if you're by yourself like this, the ideal racing line is starting wide, hitting the apex tight, and then on your exit, go back out wide. And I haven't done a great job of focusing on the race here, so you're going to see the person in P2 right now is going to try to get a jump on me here. And it's going to work out for him. He gets P2 right there. I was slacking off. I get a place right back, get a pretty good exit, and try to defend it right there. Look back just to see where he's at, and just try to keep holding on to that P1. And a lot of people say that it's bad to look back just because you're going to be losing time on the corner ahead. But sometimes you have to actively defend, and looking back gives you a great idea of where they're going. For example, if somebody wants to send it up the inside on you, you can block that off, force them out wide, and then defend through the corner. And right here, the race isn't boring at all for me just because I know he is right on my tail. So if I mess up on any corner, he'll be able just to pass me up easily. I know his kart has better straight line speed than mine, while mine has better grip. So we're kind of just battling it out. I know that on any corner, I need to hit it right just so I can get a gap on that straight and try to have enough of a gap that his straight line speed doesn't catch up to me. Here you can see that I try to be smoother than last time. I don't want him to get an inside jump on me again. And I built enough of a gap that I can take care of that easily, so I can go out from wide, back to in, and then out wide again just so I can hit the next corner. And I'm not going to get on the curb too much here just because I know he's right behind me. So if I send it in too deep, he'll have a clear run on me down the straight. So I have him right behind me, and I do need to defend. But something important to remember is that for defending, you're allowed to make one move. So you can't swerve in front of them back and forth just trying to block them off, because you'll get black flag for that, and I have seen it happen. So one important concept to understand to get faster is trail braking. So you won't be using it on every corner, but on corners where you brake harder, like this big one coming up, you want to hit your brakes as hard as you need to, and then slowly lift off while turning the front wheel. That will make it where the front wheels don't lose grip, and they just stay planted, and you can get through that corner. So if P2 is going to pass me, he's going to have to do it on one of these straights, just because I know his straight line speed is faster than mine. So I'm really just focusing on trying to nail all of these exits. So here, just pretty much getting as close to those tires as possible, making sure that he can't send it up the inside on me. And you see him just peer out right there, but I'm able to hold that position, and he's in a bad position for this turn coming up, so he's going to have to hit the brakes. And because of that, I'm going to be able to gain a bit of time on him. He just put himself in a bad situation there. Like I said, my grip is better than his, so he shouldn't be trying to pass me up on a corner. He should just be trying to get as close as possible to the back of my cart And then once we get to a straight, then he's just faster and can overtake easily. At MSR, the carts are randomly given out. You don't get to choose it out of a hat or anything, but the computer assigns them randomly. Here on this big turn that I talk about where you gain or lose time, you're going to see that he actually gets right up onto me, but that wasn't the ideal move. Again, he needs to be passing me on a straight, not in the corner. So there he's going to lose time just because he hit my car, he lost his momentum, and he doesn't have enough straight line speed to pass me here just because of that. So from here on out, there's not going to be much action, so I'm not going to be commentating. I will be coming back at 13 minutes and 30 seconds because some action comes on. Alright, so I'm back. So you can see I've just been kind of going through the motions here, and P2 is still just right behind me as he's been the whole race, but he just wasn't close enough to make a move, so it was pretty boring there for a while. But you can see here just trying to be as smooth as possible, but I do lock up a bit through here, and that is going to give him a chance just to go to the outside, which he hadn't done that before. Every single time had been to the inside. And you see how fast he caught up there, but my grip is better, so I was able to take the better line. And you see I get right on the edge of that curb, but I left enough space for him, and you're just going to see how much faster his kart is. And for me to have any chance to pass him back up, I'm going to have to make up time in the corners and just do a dive bomb. He has a great exit there, but you see my cornering is just allowing me just to get right onto the bumper of his. And you're going to see how our karts are complete opposites here. So through all the corners, that's where I'm going to be catching up, and he's going to be gaining time right here on the straights. So right there, my cornering was great, and I'm going to be able to stick with him here through the straight just because of drafting, just tucking myself behind him and avoiding the wind. So you see right here, usually you would get right onto the bumper of a kart right there, like right here. and I'm just gonna try to follow him through, but I do tap him, and I think he hits the tires right there. And right here is gonna be our last chance to catch up to him before that straight comes. So trying to hit that curb perfectly, but he is just great at defending, and you're gonna see him take off here. And from there, that's gonna be the end of the race. There's no more chances to catch up, and you're gonna see that checker flag waving, and we end up with a disappointing P2, just losing it right there at the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. That helps me out a lot, and follow me on Insta on Karting with Mario.